Early this year, before the quarantine started, we were actually sent all of these mice from Cooler Master. This is the MM7110 and also 711. 711 is the RGB version, whereas the 710 is the non-RGB version. All of these mice are focused on their super lightweight series of mice, but over the course of these 6 months, I've been using it for about nearly 10 months right now. So here's my really long-term review of this mouse right here. The reason why I don't want to do this review earlier is because for me personally, whenever I review a mouse, further down like 6 months or so, I will kill the mouse quite fast because I'm the one who edit all the videos and I use the scroll wheel a lot. Left clicks a lot also, and I also play games on my PC. So yeah, the mouse is the one that gets a lot of heavy use and abuse. So when Cooler Master sent me this mouse, I was using this for 10 months by the way, which is why it looks super disgusting. A lot of dust and it's just grimy. But that's not the main point here. You can actually wash it if you want to. I wouldn't recommend you to do so, but in Cooler Master's website, they also tell you that it's some sort of coated with waterproof materials, but I still wouldn't recommend you to do that. So what's so special about this mouse right here is that the non-RGB version, which is this one, the white colored version, MM710, is only at 63 grams, whereas the RGB versions, this is the special edition MM711 Iron Man color scheme, I think they're calling it, and then this is the standard black color. They are both weighing in at only 60 grams. And while 7 grams don't really make that much of a difference, it matters in terms of price, which we'll get onto later. So, features wise, the mouse is actually pretty good. I would say it has onboard memory and it remembers all of the settings that you have programmed, and when you switch into other PCs, all of the settings are retained, which is good because it's lightweight. That means you can bring it to wherever you want if the virus allows. And the cable here is something Cooler Master is calling Ultra Weave cable. It's very lightweight, kind of springy, and it feels kind of foam coated as well. Not too sure how to describe it, but it's definitely really lightweight to the point where you don't even need a bungee for your mouse cable right there. It's also ambidextrously designed, so you can use it with your left hand or your right hand. But if you're a left-handed user, do remember that all of the side buttons are only on one side of the mouse. So yeah, it's kind of awkward and there's no buttons for your left hand's thumb. So how Cooler Master achieved this lightweight design is by milling out most of the material for its chassis. So you get this honeycomb design with the CM logo silhouette here throughout the entire mouse. And this is where all of the dust, dead skin, and just disgusting food stuff can get into the mouse. And yeah, that's just something that you have to live with. For me, I have not cleaned this mouse at all after using it for 10 months, but yeah, I am gonna do that soon, I promise. Throughout those 10 months, I've been editing a lot of videos, and the scroll wheel, even though I abuse it a lot, it does feel a lot smoother compared to the newer 711 and 710 here. But I have to commend Cooler Master because the quality and the feeling, the tactility, especially the tactility for each time you scroll the scroll wheel, you have this kind of tactile feedback. It's something like a click. You can still feel it and the scroll wheel still functions normally. It doesn't have those kind of where you scroll down, then suddenly you have to double scroll and then suddenly it pops back up. That something happened to my previous mouse, by the way. And back to the main point here, this scroll wheel still feels good, even though it's not as tactile as the newer ones, but it still works. And I would say there's still quite a lot of life left for this mouse right here. Clicks, they're using Omron switches. Overall, the clicking experience is still solid. All of them still feels good and clicky and also responsive, so no complaints there. Side buttons, yeah, they're very tactile and also very clicky. Same like these left and right clicks. And since I started using this mouse, I realized that I have big hands. Usually I'll be buying those super big mouse with those right-handed only ergonomically designed mouse. But then when I started to use this mouse, I like this kind of small mouse a lot more because I can have a more comfortable claw grip and I can hold it however I want because I have such a big hand anyway. So it's much more conforming to how I will naturally hold a mouse. For example, I like to hold my mouse a little bit sideways like this. This is exaggerated, but you get the idea. It's a bit like this, and then I like to use my mouse like this. Since the mouse itself is not that big, I can just hold it however I want. Maybe I just want to hold it like this. And since it's also dual-handed design, I can sometimes, if I'm lazy, I can use my left hand to control the mouse as well. In terms of its smoothness, after 10 months, I've been using this on a cloth mouse pad. So the fit is actually still really good, no problems there, but it ultimately depends on what surface you are using it on. And speaking of surfaces, the sensor here is, I don't really care much because it functions well. I'm using it at about 1000 dpi on a 1440p ultra-wide screen. No problems there and just no complaints overall. So before I wrap this up, I just want to do a quick recap that the MM710 is this one, non-RGB version, which you can see it because this part is completely hollow and see-through. This one is priced at 189 ringgit. It's available in black and white. I'm not too sure if the matte and glossy finish variations are available here in Malaysia, but I'll leave whatever information I can find on the screen here. And then moving up to a little bit more fancier design, this is the MM711 with the RGB controls and whatnot, which you can see here. The RGB is quite minimal, by the way. It's only on the palm rest here and also the scroll wheel. That's it. This one is slightly more expensive at 239 ringgit, also available in black and white. Not sure if glossy or matte, but for the MM711, you have a few more different variations, which is this one. They're calling it the Iron Man version because it has those kind of orangey red plus golden color scheme going on, and also RGB, of course, which is why it's MM711. It's slightly more expensive at 249 ringgit. And there's also one more upcoming variation of the MM711, which is called the Blue Steel. It's technically this color, but wrapped entirely in a more blue steel color, hence the name Blue Steel, right? It's not as striking as this one, but I really do like the blue steel color scheme that's going on right there. So that's all we want to share with you about the MM711 and MM710. I've been using this mouse for 10 months and I really like this mouse. I'm going to plug this back into my workstation after I'm done with this video. So yeah, I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. We'll see you next time.